In fact, it is still raining in places, which is very typical here. Joe Osborne slip sliding off pole position, and even the cars on wet tyres getting a little bit squirrely off the line here. This is going to be a very interesting start, but nothing clears a racetrack of water like a pack of race cars. All those cars with their grooved tyres will create a dry line eventually, but it isn't dry now. Pace car pulls aside. What is going to happen to Joe Osborne at the start? What's going to happen to this pack at the start as they make the run down towards the 90-degree left turn, which is the first corner here? Osborne controlling the pack. He takes over the role of pace car as they come on to the front straight. How well will that Ginetta put its power down on slicks, if at all? We'll find out when the red lights go out. And the race is go. Osborne on the right of your picture, and already he's been passed by the BMW. And everybody else queuing up to have a go. 2 BMWs. Through goes Malak as well. Up the inside goes Sunier in the 55 Porsche. That was Veltman stuck on the curbs. Malak past Osborne. He's dropping places. There goes the Nissan of Luca Ordonez as well. So he's dropped back 5 places. Out goes Denis Doncavort. No championship points for him this weekend. We are mid-pack. Langenberg, Kladik, Pearson, Luca Ordonez, Kladik in the Aston Martin in the second spot in this picture, is actually in 5th spot on the racetrack. Here's the battle for the lead. Pierre Brice-Menard in the number 18 BMW, challenged by number 55, Ludovic Sugnez, a newcomer to this championship and a brand new team. And the Porsche all looking very racy. Looking a little bit better balanced in the wet, and Sunier is looking a lot more confident. PBM right out wide. They are side by side coming towards us. It's stopped raining, but there's a lot of spray on the track. Hasseröder is a tricky corner, and Sunier just tiptoes into it, splashing through the standing water. Here's the battle in Supersport. Olivier Frémuth in the Peugeot, just ahead of the points leader, Augustin Ada. Arriving here, he topped the championship. Corvette getting very sideways. Behind them was Nico Pronk in another of the Doncavorts, and then Athanasios Ladash, the Greek driver, exposed to the weather in Supersport. No wipers, just got tear-offs on the visors. Here's Kladik and Langenberg in the Porsche. And straight on. Oh, he's turned it just a little bit too fast into turn 1, and the Aston Martin couldn't go in as quickly as the Porsche did, and Vladimir Kladik nearly paid the price for that. In comes Osborne. A drying track. Wets would have been the choice. Slicks were a disastrous call, but it's getting better out there, although you can still see the spray kicked up. Here is the 55 car. Sugnez hands it over to Maxime Martin, who we know from GT3. This is the swap between Ordonez and Buncombe. Luca Ordonez, the PlayStation winner. He won a virtual racing championship to get this seat in a racing car, and it is working out very well for him. Out goes Martin in the 55 car. Waiting for the 70 seconds mandatory time to elapse. You've got to spend 70 seconds between the pits in and pits out markers or pay a stop-go penalty. So the stopwatch is critical. There's the race leader sliding the back end of the BMW. Tyre pressures checked on Nico Pronk's Doncavorts. In, finally, with a couple of minutes to spare, comes Pierre Brice-Menard. That is no good for the Nissan pairing. 23 car with damage on the front wheel. Rick Pearson handing over to Derek Palmer. Out goes the number 18 car, and he's got the KTM stuck right behind him. You can see Augustin Ada shaking his, straight on again. Well, he's getting better at it. This time he was properly over the curbs, whilst Vladimir Kladik only just came close to them the last time, but on his second attempt it's a much better overrun. And here's Alex Buncombe, fastest lap already on a drying track. 4th place for him. Here's Maxime Martin in second place in the Porsche, chasing after the number 18 BMW of Pierre Brice-Menard. They were separated by the pit stops taken at different times. There is a window in which the pit stops can be taken, but you can see the gap is coming down. And look, Martin looking for wet parts of the track and taking an unusual line, it's got to be said, into Hasserode, and the team very keen for him to get on with this. The BMW all over the place, PBM sticking to the dry parts, Martin looking for the wet parts of the track and now looking for the inside, almost touching the back end of the BMW, goes right onto the wet here and really tiptoes that Porsche around, and that was quite bold from Maxime Martin, although we're used to seeing that in the Morgan. Now he's alongside. PBM has the BMW, got an answer to the Porsche power on the front straight. Martin very late on the brakes into turn one. Pierre Brice-Menard on the inside, gets his nose chopped off, and through goes the Porsche, runs wide in Hotel. PBM comes straight back at him on this long right-hander. Pierre Brice-Menard is there, and now it's Hasserode again. Long run towards a long hairpin left, and again you see Martin on the wet stuff, and PBM taking it out high and wide. He's left the door open there. Has that given Maxime Martin an opportunity on track? No, it hasn't. Still together as they come towards the S's. Now the Porsche is right behind. Still, this battle goes on, lap after lap. And now, look at this. Maxime Martin is right beside. He has got the advantage on power. He's got the position. He's moving over to close the door. And now he has got the race lead. And that's it, done and dusted. If he gets it stopped and turned, and he does, it's all over and done with. Little bit bumpy on the curbs there in the turn two in Hotel, and the Porsche a little bit unsettled by that. But he's got it sorted, and very confident now, taking it wide onto the edge of the racetrack, right up onto the grass there. And PBM running even wider in the BMW. Maxime Martin, a little bit of protective driving there. I won't say he was weaving, and he certainly wasn't blocking, but he was certainly using all the racetrack and making that 911 as wide as he knew how. And again, going on to the wet and taking a very swoopy approach to all the corners. Almost in the pit lane entrance there, coming out of the penultimate corner and getting the slingshot onto the front straight. Pierre Brice-Menard has applied all the pressure he could find, but Maxime Martin holds him off and goes over the line. And Buncombe has got past Malak on the last lap to be third place. We've got three cars in the frame fighting fourth at third place, but it's Buncombe, then Malak, and then Kevin Veltman, and behind Olivier Frameworth wins Supersport. Vladimir Kladek in the gravel for the third time in this race. How did that happen? Under a bit of pressure, and again outbrakes himself properly this time. He's had a couple of stabs at it, but this time it was a complete overshoot plus a pirouette on the grass to get him well and truly breached. There are some personal triumphs and tragedies on this leaderboard as usual, but what a result for the Porsche crew on its debut race in the GT4 Championship.
Congratulations, Maxime. How is it feeling out there for you?
Nice. It's the first race in GT4, and Ludovic did a very good start, and it's fantastic for the whole team because it's first race of the car, and yeah, it's great.
Podium celebrations for the top three in the approved champagne wasting style, and they get to do it all again tomorrow. As the cars take their grid places for the second race of the weekend, there's more to think about than the fact that today the sun is shining and the track is dry. Pierre Brice-Menard was penalised 30 seconds for that unusually slow pit stop exit and dropped to 5th place, and everybody else went up 1 place. So the result from yesterday slightly different to what we saw as they begin the formation lap here, and as you can see, weather conditions totally different. Pole again goes to that number 52 Ginetta, points leader Joe Osborne, alongside the new race winner in race 1 this weekend, started this time by the man who took the checkered flag, Maxime Martin. Behind that, the number 18 BMW, qualified in 3rd place, penalised yesterday. Veltman in the 2nd of the BMWs, 4th place yesterday. The Wiesmann GT will pull aside into the pit lane entrance at the last possible moment. Hand control of the race to the silver Ginetta of Joe Osborne. Maxime Martin, just a little bit too anxious to get going there, has got to drop back and keep pace with Osborne at a steady speed as they come onto the front straight and wait for the lights over the track to go out. And there it is, green for go, as this round of the GT4 European Cup is underway, with Osborne already passed and Maxime Martin looking to cut his nose off in turn 1. Late breaks himself, Osborne's locked up, he runs deep. Osborne on the infield, spins it round, and the start of the 2nd race of the weekend, another disaster for the championship leader. He's back down in the Supersport race now. They have their own grid, not much because they're slower than the other cars, but for self-defence really, because sometimes they're so low they're invisible. And we've seen a couple of accidents in racing before, so they start separately. 18 here, Pierre Briesmann is 2nd, Kevin Veltman is 3rd. And behind that is the number 14 Nissan in 4th place. Just a glimpse of the rooftop there of the number 55 car, the Porsche of Maxime Martin, trying to clear off in the lead. Everybody else using all of the racetrack. Just watch these cars for a moment and see the way they're moving right out to the edge, smoking through the corners in some cases. They are driving these cars to the absolute limit, and in some cases beyond, as we've seen. Buncombe fastest lap in hot pursuit, then it comes Malak, then it's Fletcher having a look down the inside, Jens Richter behind that in the number 4, and Tom Langenberg in the red Porsche, number 12, is in 8th place. Osborne 9th, recovering well after that turn 1 spin, moving up to try and get on terms again and collect some now vital championship points as Maxime Martin opens up a huge lead over Pierre Briesmann, then Veltman. And here comes Alex Buncombe, just sliding. He broadsides the Nissan into the right hand, the first of the S's, almost gets a touch on the bumps there, and it's just so close to being a huge accident, and that is how close the racing is. Smoking again, dust kicked up as they run into the pit lane entrance, almost coming out of turn 13, onto the front straight, taking it really wide again, just trying to get ahead of the BMW. This is nail-biting stuff in the cockpit for these drivers. Buncombe, again, just squirrely on the brakes. That Nissan moving about as he goes to the brakes. Any later, any harder on the brakes, and it would be an accident. Here we go again. Have a look at this. Watch the Nissan sideways when he touches the brakes. Just tips it into the corner. Almost a touch there. There is a touch. Definitely a touch from Veltman behind. And somehow or other, Alex Buncombe got that done, and now he's going after Pierre Briesmann. Oh, and Briesmann spins it. We've been saying they're so close to the accident, and there it is. That's all it took. Just a little bit too much throttle on the exit of that corner, passed by the other two. How they missed him, we'll never know. Drops 2 places just like that. So he goes down to 4th. Veltman's up to 3rd, and Alex Buncombe in the Nissan now up to 2nd place. His target now is the Porsche of Maxime Martin, if he can see it. It all depends on whether he can be quicker now. He's got clear air in front of him. Maxime Martin had cleared off. Pit stop time. Fletcher and Abbott swap places in the Ginetta. Here's the race leader, Maxime Martin, will stay out as long as possible, I suspect, through this pit stop window, and he's got about 3 minutes left to make his pit call. Osborne's making his stop. No driver change, of course. He's just going to sit there And in comes the race leader. Pit lane very busy indeed. Maxime Martin hands it over to Ludovic Sounier, the Belgian driver. Just checking the tyre pressures. They get a bit hot, the pressure goes up, and you can let a little bit of air out at the pit stop. Now then, will Sounier rejoin in the lead? He's got Bunkum's car, now driven by Luca Ordonez right behind him. So first and second coming out of pit lane in the order they went in. So it's still race lead 2:55. So the recipe as before, and now we'll find out how Ordonez and Sounier match up with each other. Luca Ordonez, as we say, the success story of computer gaming, and very wide. Sounier taking no chances with the Porsche. There's Ordonez, and he's got something to think about because he's got his mirrors full of BMW, and now all of a sudden he's in a battle for second place with Veltman behind him, and instead of chasing after the car in front, he's got to defend his second place. Locks up the brake, looking a little bit ragged under pressure here, Ordonez, and translating everything he's learned on a computer screen as you go sideways off the grass. He is taking chances. That's what you do with a PlayStation, and somehow or other you get away with it, don't you? Drive Gran Turismo and you can take all these chances, drive a racing car on track, and it all of a sudden becomes a whole lot more exciting than it was in your armchair. This is the pass, is it? No, Veltman can't do to that 14 Nissan what it did to the BMW last time around, and Veltman still having to chase. Last corner onto the start-finish straight. Very dangerous indeed. Ordonez is under lots of pressure, goes very wide, gets the Nissan's power down, comes up to the middle of the track. He's got a decision to make. What will he do in turn one? Does he take it high and wide, or does he cut down to the inside? He may have left it too late. Veltman's there. Veltman on the inside. Can he turn it? Yes, he can. Through into turn two. Hotel. Long looping right-hander. Here's the pass again. Have a look at this. Ordonez made his call and Veltman made his, and the BMW just got stopped and turned. So now we have a new battle for the lead as Ludovic Sounier comes under pressure from Kevin Veltman. But there are lots of cars being penalised for leaving pit lane a little bit sooner than they should do, and they're all going to have to come back in. 7 cars have been penalised in this way. Veltman is one of them, and so too is Osborne in the 52. He can't catch the Porsche, can he? There is no way that the BMW is closing on the Porsche in the same way that it did on that Nissan. He's close through the turns there, a little bit handier there, and now starting to pile the pressure on. But now when it comes to horsepower, I don't think that he can draw past. He's trying it now on the inside, and he's taken the place. Can he keep it all the way through Hasseröder? Yes, he can. And here's Osborne making his... Oh, and he's locked up, and a touch with Pierre Brice-Mana. The 18 car spins, and I think Joe Osborne, he's lost the bonnet, was a little bit ambitious up the inside there, and PBM turned in on his line as he was always going to do. And it's Brice-Mana who's come off worst, and it's the bonnet that's come off the 52 car. Veltman is in the pit lane. That's his drive-through, or his stop-go, and out on track. The black flag has been shown to Osborne because he should be coming in to pay his stop-go and isn't. So all of a sudden we've got drama in the closing seconds of this race, and we're going to have a revised result at the end of it again. Here is the checkered flag for the 55 car. Over the line he goes. Well, what a weekend we've had in GT4, and what a weekend the Ice Pole Racing team has had. 2 out of 2 wins.
Bah, effectivement, ça s'est pas mal passé. Hier, on a fait une super belle course.
It was a good race, a good start from my co-driver Maxime, who took the lead from the first corner. And from there on, it was just down to me to complete the rest of the race and bring the car
Et de
home.
gagner cette deuxième course, c'est super.